I'd love for you to share what you're working on now. One of the things
Sure.
I'm intentional. I try not to always get into what people do
Hmm.
right out of the gates because I don't want someone to be summed up by what they do for a living. But
Yeah,
I always want to explore it, and I want to, talk about it.
totally.
And then I also, you've got an incredible podcast, and
Hmm.
I have shared this with you. I've shared this with other people. I think you're one of the best podcast interviewers out there. And so I hope people check you out and get a chance to hear just the great questions, the philosophies that you have. But I'd love to talk about those.
Yeah.
And to me that's kind of near and dear to your heart.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. That means a lot. And it's fun because I like being on this other side too. It's great to do both. And well, something you said earlier, it's kind of not what I do, but it's a part of what's kind of on my mind right now is like the meme stocks and Reddit and Wall Street bets. It's not a part of my strategy at all. But I think it's important to bring up because it's so dominant in pop culture and culture as a whole right now, but also like how easily we can get swept up by things that are not aligned with our investment philosophy. I had so much FOMO and was paying so close attention to all of this and had no choice but to get involved. Had no choice. And I mostly got involved out of, I said, what am I willing to lose? And do I really believe in the fight, like what this fight represents? And so I went, all right, I'm willing to lose 25K, and I would be willing if it all went away and literally GameStop went down to zero. That's okay. And I went a little bit of all of them, even BlackBerry and Nokia.
Ah,
So
nice.
but the reason that I did it was because the principle of what the fight represented, and to really, I really do view it as a sort of war that is currently going on in the investment world between these retail and institutional investors. But also, man, outside of that, the level of FOMO that shows up when certain opportunities arise is so dangerous. Like, this is completely outside of what I do to day trade or to invest in individual stocks. I invested in individual stocks before, and they're actually the highest performing part of my portfolio, but I view that as like an accident. They're all FANG and tech stocks, high growth tech companies. Whether they'll continue to be, so get such amazing returns in the next 5 to 10 years, we'll see. But I view that as an anomaly, and I want to make better strategic decisions that either spin off cash that are existing assets like real estate and things like that, or investing in companies, or just putting it into this Vanguard Index Fund, VTI or VTSAX. And yet, even though that is my strategy, I got so caught up. And the reason I bring this up is because we need some sort of measure in place in our psychology to sort of ward off these potentially fatal decisions. One good one is just like, what am I willing to fully lose? Like that is helpful. Like view it as if you're at the casino. You're placing a sports bet or you're about to play blackjack and you're just like, this is my allowance. That's one way. But I think there needs to be an even more sort of, especially for the more amateur investors, like that did crush. We'll see what happens next. We're talking on, in the middle of all of this, or could be the end of all of this. We'll see. Like we'll see if like there is a squeeze still. We'll see if GameStop comes back. But right now it's at like, I think we're $90 a share. So a lot of people lost a shit ton of money. And one of the things that you said that is so simple and profound that I kept in the back of my mind is every time an investment comes in front of you, ask yourself why you shouldn't invest. Duh. Like, so simple. Like, don't look for the reasons it's a yes, look for the reasons it's a no. And overwhelmingly, the meme stocks had 9 out of 10 no's. The one yes is like, join the fight and maybe get 500% returns. And it's like not even a flip of a quarter. It's more like a shot in the dark. And Who knows? None of the math adds up. None of it. It's just a gamble. So I bring that up for that reason because I think that's one of the most important things I've learned lately.